If you want your first million in 10 years, stop chasing shortcuts. This is not a story about luck, hot tips, or leverage. This is a cold, plain piece of arithmetic married to behavior. Channeling Charlie Munger's blunt, rational temperament. The route to $1,000 in a decade is simple math, plus stubborn discipline. It's hard. It's doable for many, but only if you treat it like a job and stop pretending growth will happen without sacrifice. Most people fail because they treat wealth like a wish instead of a plan. They accept small, endless leaks, subscription creep, impulse buys, high-interest debt, and then expect a fairy tale return to plug the gap. They chase the next shiny thing, a meme stock, a crypto rumor, a get-rich-quick seminar. Meanwhile, the compound interest clock is ticking, and time is not on their side. If you want $1 million in 10 years, you must combine clear targets, conservative assumptions, and boringly consistent action. Let's do the math. No drama, no hype. Assume you want $1,000 in 10 years. Use two scenarios most people should run: an optimistic annual return of 10% and a conservative return around 7%, 8% as an intermediate. We'll assume monthly compounding and monthly contributions because that's how people actually invest. With 10% nominal annual return compounded monthly, the growth factor over 10 years is about 2.707. If you start from zero, hitting $1,000 in 10 years requires roughly $4,080 per month. Rounded for clarity, that's about $4.9K a month. Call it $5K a month to remember it. Assumes 10% nominal annual return, monthly compounding. Recalculate with your numbers. That number should be a sobering baseline. Starting from nothing, you're essentially investing roughly $60,000 a year and letting compounding help. The returns will pull their weight, but contributions dominate in the early decade. Now, let's change the starting capital. If you already have $100,000 invested today and keep the same 10% assumption, that $100K will grow to roughly $277 in 10 years just by sitting there. That reduces the monthly amount you must add to about $3,560 per month. With $250,000 already invested, the existing capital becomes the muscle. That $250K grows to roughly $676,550 over 10 years at 10%. And you'd only need about $1,180 per month to reach $1 million. These are the key truths. Money already working for you dramatically lowers what you must save each month. The earlier you build any meaningful base, the less you must pound the pavement later. If you are more conservative, and you should be, run the numbers at 7% annually, monthly compounding. At 7%, the growth multiplier over 10 years is about 2.01. Starting from zero, you'd need roughly $5,780 per month to hit $1,000. Starting from $100K at 7% drops the monthly requirement to around $4,620. Starting from $250K, you'd need roughly $2,180 per month. These figures are not guesses. They are arithmetic. They assume no taxes, no fees, and a straight-line return. Real life adds friction, taxes, fees, withdrawals, mistakes. So prudent planners build a cushion. Aim for 1.2 metas as a target or give yourself a longer timeline. Assume variability, not certainty. Numbers are arithmetic. Strategy is behavior. There are two primary levers to reach $1 faster: increase how much you earn or increase how much you save. Both matter. But the low-hanging fruit, the immediate weapon you can use tonight, is cutting expenses. Frugality. Increasing income is powerful, but often slow. Trimming monthly waste is immediate. Consider a concrete example. Someone earning $80,000 a year who currently saves $5,000 annually, decides to trim lifestyle costs and free up $30,000 a year to invest. That $30K per year is $2,500 per month. Invested at 10% for 10 years starting from zero. $2,500 monthly produces roughly $12,000. Add a small starting balance or modest pay increases and you're much closer to the million. If the same person can push toward $5,000 a month, about a 62% savings rate in extreme cases, that moves them into the territory identified earlier, where one or more in 10 years is realistic from zero. Those high savings rates are possible, but they are aggressive. They require ruthless budgeting, often delayed gratification, and sometimes major lifestyle choices like cheaper housing, commuting trade-offs, and cutting discretionary spending. Label it sacrifice. Don't label it shame. Discipline is the currency of compounding. But before you invest that freed cash, eliminate toxic debt. Debt at high interest rates is a guaranteed compounding loss. If you owe $100,000 at 15% interest, that debt grows faster than many realistic portfolios will. Paying off high-interest debt is not a missed investing opportunity. It is a risk-free return equal to the interest rate. See debt like a fire. Extinguish it before you build wealth. Credit card balances, payday loans, and other high-rate liabilities must be squared away. Small, reasonable debt like a mortgage can be managed in context. But high-rate debt deserves priority. If you don't kill high-interest debt first, your contributions will be partially eaten by interest, and you will be fighting an uphill arithmetic battle. Where do you put money once debts are under control? Charlie Munger style thinking points to high-quality equities, durable businesses you can understand, with a margin of safety. Prefer ownership of companies with durable moats, brands, network effects, strong cash flows, and simple economics. Think of large, steady franchises you can imagine still operating sensibly in 10 years. Berkshire Hathaway-style holdings, companies that generate cash, have pricing power, and resilient demand, are a guide, not a portfolio prescription. Examples frequently cited in public filings include businesses like Apple, Coca-Cola, Visa, and Bank of America. Not as endorsements, but as illustrations of durable franchises. The point is, buy businesses, not buzzwords. Stock selection rules are straightforward and practical. Stay inside your circle of competence. Understand the business before you own it. Look for honest, capable management with aligned incentives. Prefer low leverage. Companies with little debt survive downturns and compound returns more safely. Demand a margin of safety. Don't pay a premium for hope. Avoid trying to predict single winners in speculative arenas like early-stage crypto tokens or betting the farm on an unproven tech startup. If you want exposure to such themes, allocate a small, clearly limited percentage of your portfolio and do it with humility. Most long-term wealth is created by reasonably priced ownership of excellent businesses, held for years, not months. Volatility will test you. Here is the practical Munger-style reframing. Market drops are buying opportunities if you are accumulating. If the market or a specific stock falls 40%, your fixed monthly investment buys far more shares at lower prices, accelerating long-term compounding. That does not mean you should recklessly buy anything that moves down. It means you should keep contributing, preferably automated, so you buy more when prices are lower. Dollar cost averaging is not magical, but it enforces discipline. Accumulators who panic and sell during crashes guarantee poor outcomes. Accumulators who keep putting money to work during downturns exploit capitalism's price dislocations. Understand the phase of your journey. Early on, say the first 5 to 7 years, contributions dominate the final outcome. Your monthly savings rate matters more than whether you beat the market by a point or two. Later, once you have a substantial base, returns matter more. That's when careful company selection and capital allocation deliver larger marginal benefits. This is why the early focus should be on savings rate, debt elimination, and simplicity. Don't waste the first decade trading rather than compounding. Behavioral traits are the real determiners of success. Compounding is boring, consistency is boring, discipline is boring, however boring wins. Build systems. Automate transfers to investment accounts the day you get paid. Avoid bank accounts where money sits idle. Create friction for spending decisions you regret and remove friction for saving. Habit formation converts discipline into default behavior. Make frugality a project, not a punishment. Every dollar saved and invested now is a soldier working for you over time. Let's walk through a few more concrete calculations so you can mentally map trade-offs. If you save $2,500 per month at a 10% return for 10 years starting from zero, you finish with roughly $512K. If you double that to $5,000 per month under the same assumptions, you finish near $1,024K. So doubling contributions doubles the final value roughly in this time frame. If you start with $100K and contribute that's $500 per month at 10%, you clear the million mark comfortably in 10 years. If you already have $250K and can contribute $1,600 per month at 10%, you reach the target. These snapshots are not guarantees. They are scenarios to guide decisions. What about taxes, fees, and inflation? They exist, and they matter. The numbers I gave assume nominal returns and ignore tax drag and fees. Account for them in your plan. Use tax-advantaged accounts where possible. Keep investment costs low. Index funds and low-cost ETFs are not glamorous, but they reduce drag and often beat expensive active managers over long periods. If you pay high advisory fees or trade frequently, you are handing away returns. Compounding loves low fees. Also, do not confuse confidence with competence. If you cannot explain how a business makes money in a sentence, you are likely speculating. If you are tempted by narratives that promise outsized returns with no risk, ask yourself what you would buy and why you would hold it for a decade. Munger-style thinking prizes rational skepticism. Be intellectually humble, except you will be wrong sometimes. When you are wrong, learn fast and change course. A few tactical recommendations that translate the math into daily decisions. First, set a specific target and timeline, $1,000 in 10 years. Then run conservative scenarios. Plan for 7 to 8% returns and aim for 1.2 meatos as a buffer. Third, kill high-interest debt before funding aggressive investments. Fourth, automate savings so contributions happen before you can spend them. Fifth, prefer broad exposure to equities early, either through diversified low-cost funds or a concentrated set of understandable, durable businesses. Sixth, keep a small cash buffer for opportunities during market stress and do not confuse cash hoarding with prudence. Seventh, continue learning. Read annual reports, understand management incentives, and study financial statements at a basic level. Here is a practical, everyday example to tie this together. Suppose you are 35, earn $80,000, and currently save $500 a month. That is not enough to reach $1 in 10 years. But if you decide to treat the next decade as a mission and free up an extra $12,500 a month by lowering housing costs, cutting outside dining, and postponing some discretionary purchases, you can invest $3,000 per month. At 10%, that gets you into the $500,000 range in 10 years from contributions alone. Add modest starting capital or extra raises, and you get to 7 figures. The tactical point? Earning more helps, but trimming waste provides immediate fuel. Start with what you can control. A word on risky shortcuts. Do not treat debt as a lever to get rich quickly. Don't imagine that borrowing at high rates to invest in volatile assets is prudent. Don't bet the family home, retirement, or your mental health on speculative ideas. Risk is not adrenaline. It is potential permanent impairment of capital. If you are going to take risk, make it a small, intentional part of your portfolio with clear rules for size and exit. Crashes deserve a final remark. They will happen. When they do, your feelings will want you to sell. Your discipline should tell you to keep contributing and look for bargains. A 40% market drop does not destroy value if you are buying quality businesses at lower prices. It creates opportunity. If you panic and sell, you lock in losses and forfeit the upside. If you are accumulating, you should actually hope for temporary price chaos because quality businesses will go on generating cash. You will simply buy more of them on sale. Before we finish, a short, practical checklist to convert thought into action. Pick your target and timeline, then run the math with conservative returns, kill high-interest debt, automate monthly savings so contributions happen without thinking, aim to save a large percentage of new income increases rather than expanding lifestyle immediately. Invest consistently into durable businesses or low-cost broad equity funds. Keep fees low and taxes in mind. Treat market drops as buying opportunities. Read management letters and annual reports to build judgment. And finally, be patient. Compound interest needs time and stability to work its magic. If you want to run these numbers for your situation, use the calculator linked in the description. It will let you plug in your starting capital, expected return, conservative and optimistic, and monthly contribution to see different outcomes and the impact of small changes. Use it now. Make it clear and honest. Now, a last frank note. This is not easy. It demands sacrifice and boring competence. But it's also straightforward. Discipline beats brilliance most of the time. If you adopt a Munger-style temperament, be skeptical of easy stories, prefer simplicity, compounding, and honest arithmetic. You give yourself a fighting chance. Wealth is not magic. It is a predictable result of behavior over time. Start today. Automate the saving. Learn what you own. Keep your head during storms. Repeat for 10 years. The math will do the rest. If this hit the nerve you need, subscribe and grab the 1M and 10 calculator and checklist in the description. Do the math on your life, not someone else's.